Hello, everybody. We want to thank you very much for coming. And first, we'd like to pay respect, and I'm going to turn off the sound to do that. So we want to pay respect and acknowledge the people, ancestors and elders, past and present, of the Woiwurrung and Boon Wurrung language groups of the Eastern Kulin Nation, on whose unceded lands we meet. And I'd also like to, throughout the day, what has already been happening for the last 15 minutes, be able to start some conversations, and that's what you've already been doing, about the research that we're doing, which I think is really, really important right now. At this particular time in 2018. The title of our event is called VVitchVVave, Post-Digital Aesthetic Symposium. And in a sense, the term post-digital has been being thrown about since 1998, with Negroponte first mentioning it, and then it was taken up by other theorists, namely an Australian, Gascoigne, Kim Gascoigne, who's from US, and Ian Andrews, who's Australian. And then in the last 10 years, it was mainly published more in the Northern Hemisphere. And so we were wondering if that term is still a analytical category that we need, and looking at all the ways that artistic creation in 21st century art forms plays into that or against that. Tom will talk a little bit more about the digital media program from which we are all coming from, and which we got support for this event. But I just wanted to also introduce the people that are speaking this afternoon, who are theorists and artists. Obviously, I'll introduce them more at the time, but they're bringing in wider discussions about, is post-digital still a useful analytical category, and why. Florian Kramer's asking why he thinks it isn't now, whereas once he thought, he actually, wrote, he thinks it sucks, but it's the only useful term he can come up with at the moment. But now, so there's going to be a critical aspect to what we're looking at as well. And hopefully with the tools and the apparatuses we are using, and thinking through particular issues of our everyday lives, whether that has a fictional element, we're thinking through these computational media and working with these tools to think through things. So obviously thinking through, or doing by making, and understanding the world through being active, right, and having a more hands-on active approach to understanding computational media and the world in which we live in. And that's why I'm so excited to be here at Siteworks, because what we have outside there is an autodidact area, which kind of reminds me of like a physical, like Minecraft space, right? So you can go out there and play and rewrite the space with the blocks, or with the modular kind of objects with which you find. And that's how I like to approach digital media and approach art, is to be able to, rewrite your environment, or be able to rewrite the interfaces or tools. And that's, I think, a unique part of our program, or what we have here today, what all of you are bringing to this event today. So, coming from a very arcane form of language speculations, and a more performative, active approach to this petrochemical nightmare that we find ourselves in. And on that note, I'll hand it over to Tom. But I look forward to a day of discussions and conversations. And we have the schedule. If you haven't got a program, please do grab one, because there will be a lot of great presentations that you can engage with. I'll talk a little bit more and introduce the next presentation after Tom finishes off this introduction.
Okay, everyone, thanks for coming. Welcome to VVitchVVave. I'm just going to talk a little bit about where this event comes from and the context of what we're doing at RMIT Digital Media. And as many of the people in the room are involved with that program, and kind of what we're trying to do is say, we're here, we're doing exciting and interesting stuff with technology, and we want to, something gone wrong? Alrighty. Okay, thanks. And we want to connect that to wider discussions going on in, nationally and internationally. I want to say how fantastic and amazing it is that Nancy Mauro-Flude has joined our program and has been able to help me and others in the program set up this fantastic event. As I'm sort of learning how to put together things like this, and I haven't quite done that before. We are a new program that's been around for maybe, I think, 4 years. And we're not part of an art school, we're actually part of the new design school at RMIT. Something that I felt when I was starting to practice in this kind of area with 3D technology and coming through a fine arts school is I didn't quite have a lot of the support I needed, and something that I really have always passionately felt that we needed to do in Melbourne is set up a place where artists who want to work with technology and make things with VR and use 3D scanning and actually learn and think about what those materialities mean and how to critically interrogate them with staff and other students who are actually engaged with working with the stuff. How can we support that and make that a big thing, and how can we give artists that opportunity? So, as you know, people in RMIT include myself and Nancy and Ben Byrne up the back and Li Ping, who's our program manager, and thanks to both Ben and Li Ping for helping us to set up the event and create the space for this today. We've also got a lot of our postgrad students who are showing work today. We've got Kate Geck, we've got Mo Chamis, we've got Denby Smith, Patrick Hayes, Tim O'Dwyer, Kim Demazing, and Jay Rosenbaum, who are all supervised by a number of us and helping to make our community at RMIT really exciting and interesting. And also they're all local practitioners who we really want to draw attention to and say, hey, we're here and we're doing all this stuff. So we also want to thank today Denby Smith, who is doing our documentation, Nick Smithies for helping us with production, Elena Hunt for coming today and doing some writing, An Nguyen, who has been on social media, the venue Siteworks, and the Asylum Seekers Resource Centre Catering, who are providing food for people who are involved as artists and with the production. We didn't have the budget to extend that to everyone else visiting, unfortunately. So there are venues around if you would like to go and get lunch in the break. But for those of you who are on the team, we'll have catering for you. I also, I guess, want to draw attention to some of the people who aren't in our program that we have today. We've got Angie Abdillah, who is going to be doing the first workshop with us, a yarning workshop. Who else have we got? We've got Hey? We've got Marketa, who is doing a Food Futures Taro up the back. We've got Claire Field doing some work out in the hallway. And am I forgetting anyone? We've got Richie down here, who's going to be doing some music and a fantastic installation here with, I think they are... No, I'm thinking of the little monsters. Monsters in My Pocket, is that what they're called? I'm just remembering them from like the 90s or something. The little... Oh, okay, it's not the same thing, but they feel really 90s to me. Yeah, and so we've got a series of events happening today, so just make sure you check the program. We've got some artist talks. I'm also really excited to say we've got Theo Trian's work here from LA, which is on the VR setups over there, and Theo also, it's called Hot Surprise XXX on the schedule, but he's just got a video that we're going to play for you that he's done a painting performance as his orc avatar that will play. Anything else you want to say, Nancy? You want to...